Hello out there in YouTube land, and welcome to Midweek News episode 84. It's one of those better late than never episodes. Let's get into it. First up, we've got a new utility, Lsyncd. This will help you keep directories in sync on Linux. Lsyncd stands for Live Syncing Daemon. Written in the Lua programming language, this tutorial goes over how to install Lsyncd on Debian-based, Red Hat-based, Fedora, and Arch systems. You can even use Lsyncd to replace some functionality of rsync. What's new in Joplin 3.0? Joplin is a nice note-taking app that I've used on my Android phone for a while now. There's also a desktop app which may be worth checking out. It has been very handy for me on the go to take notes, and I will likely try out the desktop app to see how well the syncing goes between the two versions. Microsoft 365 insiders can now try out ODF 1.4 support in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. From the We're Not a Monopoly files, Microsoft is putting on the facade of supporting open standards by updating the version of ODF supported to version 1.4. For those who have not followed closely the development of LibreOffice, ODF is the native format used by LibreOffice and OpenOffice, whereas the native format for Microsoft Office is OOXML, which is not completely open despite the name. Thanks just the same, Microsoft. I'm quite happy sticking with my free and open source Office suite. Too little, too late. Create a bootable USB from ISO files. This is a somewhat platform-agnostic article and how-to covering several methods and tools to create a bootable USB, including Rufus, which is Windows only, Balena Etcher, Linux, macOS, and Windows, UNet Bootin, Linux and Windows, and Windows To Go Creator, which again is Windows only. Unfortunately, they neglected to mention the flexible Ventoy, which runs on Linux, Windows, and as a self-bootable ISO image. Your mileage may vary, but it's always good to know about multiple tools for a task. You never know when a bad update will render a tool unusable for a period of time. Okay, we're going to try something different in this episode. And we are going to take a look at a tool called Secor. This is something that I have just recently discovered, and I have found it to be quite interesting. This is sort of a front end to other utilities that you can use to test various security aspects of your network. It's got a host scan, a network scan, and a URL scan if you want to test your website. So in this example, we're going to run it against a single host. This is one of my Proxmox VE hosts. And we'll let this run, and I will try to narrate as it goes. So the first thing it's going to do is it's going to scan to see which ports are alive. It's found 3. It's running an Nmap scan to test those ports for vulnerabilities. Again, if you've got a small network or you've got a small budget and you want to do some testing without bringing in a third party, this may be at least a first step. And this outputs, given the parameters I gave it, it outputs in a nice table. So we've got our IP address, we've got the ports open, port 22 for SSH, port 111, and port 3120. Those 2 ports, I'm not entirely sure what they do. I'd have to look at the Proxmox documentation to find that out. And then it lists vulnerability info, and under severity, it just lists it as info. So if it were a critical security flaw, I'm sure it would give more information about it. Just to take a look at something else, we'll clear the screen and we'll look at some of the other scans just as an example. To run a network scan, you do Secor S, you specify network, you give it the IP address insider notation, and then you can tell it how you want it to output. By default, it's going to generate CSV and JSON files. To generate the table, you do have to specify this output option. And now we'll get back to the news. Free and open source alternatives to Microsoft File Explorer. So the title of this article is a little misleading. What this actually covers is file managers for Linux in all cases but one. Their list includes Crusader from the KDE Plasma folks, a double pane file manager, Dolphin, which is the default KDE Plasma file manager, and Double Commander, which in fact is the only one of the three that also runs on Windows. There are, of course, many other file managers, including several that launch from the terminal. Take a look at what's out there and decide for yourself what best fits your particular needs. Docs and Proton Drive is now available to rival Google Docs. Unlike the offering from Google, this offering supports end-to-end encryption. While I'm not ready to live in a web-based office suite full-time, it is nice to have options for those times when you need to collaborate with others. The Lenovo ThinkCentre Neo Ultra. Lenovo's answer to the Mac Studio? Well, possibly. This is definitely an interesting machine. Unfortunately, it is not without its design flaws. Mainly that none of the ports on the machine support speeds above 20 gigabit per second. It does have the advantage of having two SODIMM slots with support for up to 64 gigs of DDR5 RAM. Prices start at around $2,200 US with discrete graphics. When this was announced at CES 2024, Lenovo had targeted a $1,500 USD price, which is likely the integrated graphics model. And we wrap things up with Superfile, a modern terminal file manager for Linux and macOS. This is definitely an interesting new piece of software. It may very well give Midnight Commander a run for its money when it matures. Honestly though, I'm still impartial to dual pane file managers. It's been a 30-year journey, and I just keep coming back. And as you can see from the screenshot here, this is somewhat resembling a graphical file manager with your main folders on the left-hand side and then an area to access things on the right-hand side. Not exactly the dual pane model, but hey, if this works for you, that's great. And that, my friends, is going to wrap up episode 84 of Midweek News. Again, my apologies for this being a couple of days late. Sometimes life just gets in the way of your best intentions. And on that note, thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a great day.